All right, so here we have your order of operations. You've probably heard it as PEMDAS, the P for parentheses. Sometimes people will put G for grouping instead. Either way, it's not a word, it's just an acronym to help you remember what order to do things in. So first you do all the grouping symbols. So that could be parentheses, but it could also be brackets or whatever's inside of an absolute value, the things that are grouped together. Then you do the exponents. So to the power, that's the squared and the cubed, or I guess it could be a higher power. Then do your multiply and divide, and then do your add and subtract. So that's the order that goes. Have you heard of PEMDAS? Is that the way your teacher taught it? Or did anyone hear it with a G, G for grouping? Or okay, cool. So the grouping symbols together. So when we look at these, and I'm going to show you how you can do it in the calculator too. This is like the easiest lesson in the world, because if you can button push, you can do it. But we'll try a couple of these without a calculator just to practice like the order this goes in. So first you would do what's inside of this absolute value. So hey guys, 2 times 3, we'll practice our times table. 6. Okay, so you're gonna have 1 plus 6. And the absolute value of 6 just is 6, okay? Plus, and then 5 times 2 will give you 10, and then you just add it all up. So our total is 17. And again, I'm going to go through the others without a calculator too, just so we can practice doing that. But can you guys just watch for a second? Because I would like for no one to miss these questions. You can literally just type it in right here. Watch. 1 plus, and then when you get the absolute value, that's down here in your keyboard. So absolute value, 2 times 3. And then I'm going to hit the right arrow to get out of there. And then what was it? Plus. Ooh, whoops, that's not plus. 5 times 2. Look at that. And it says the answer is 17. You're all together here? You got to watch. I would like, can you put that away while I'm teaching? You'll get to use it. We're going to play a game later. But do you guys understand that no one should miss any of these questions? Like the calculator will literally do it for you. Okay. So let's look at this one. 14 divided by 2 would give you 7 plus 6 times 3. The 18 minus, and then 3 squared is 9. All right, and then we're just going to add and subtract those together. So what does that be? 16? Yeah. Again, you would have access to a calculator. All right, this one, 10 squared. Do we know 10 squared? I'm just throwing it out there to see what you guys know. So that would be 100. Cube root of 8, I would not expect you to know. I'm going to share my screen and show it to you on the calculator. Can you listen to this one so you can find the cube root? There's 2 ways you can do it. You can open your keyboard, go into functions. You have to watch to be able to find this. Go all the way down to the bottom, and do you see this symbol right here? It looks like a square root with a little n outside. If you get that, it'll let you put the 3 out front, and then you can do cube root of 8, and it'll tell you 2. Okay, here's a faster way though. Listen, so I don't have to say this 4 bajillion times. If you type CBRT, short for cube root, CBRT, do you see how it'll just put it there for you? CBRT. It works for square root too. SQRT will give you a square root. So it's just a shortcut. Okay, but you can always find it in functions. But that cube root of 8 is 2, and then plus 3. So which part of that would we do next for the order of operations? Yeah, because it's grouped together in the denominator. If you want to give it a hug, you can. That's what I call the parentheses. You can give it a hug. So this would be 100 divided by 5, which would give you 20. All right, and then last one of these. Do the parentheses first. So 3 minus 2 would give you 1. And then minus, what's your square root of 81? Do you guys know that one? 9. Again, you would always have a calculator. I'm just throwing it out there. So 6 times 1 is just 6. Now 6 minus 9 is going to end up being negative. That would be what? Negative 3. You just do 9 minus 6 and then make it negative. All right, and then we have a few more word problems on here just so we can practice reading. Rob gets paid $25 per hour. Plus he gets $75 for his travel expenses. This is exactly like you're going to pay whatever to get into the movie theater and then such and such per snack. It's exactly like that. he gets the 75 no matter what, like he gets that for his expenses. And then what would we put after that? Yep, plus 25x. I feel like this one gave us an actual number to plug in though. What was the hours 36. So it would be times 36. But I actually kind of like writing it this way better, like put the X in there. But here, let's type that in the calculator and get an answer, and let's see how much money he makes for working 36 hours. That's not even quite full time. Do you know what full time is? 40 is full time. So you would make $975 that week.
Plus 75.
I did the plus 75. Okay, go ahead and flip over. So this one is about selling lemonade. Briggs uses this equation to calculate how much money he's going to make in dollars for selling C cups of lemonade. I think the first question is funny. What does C represent? It literally just said that C is what? Yeah, cups of lemonade. So how many cups he sells? C is cups. You usually pick a letter that makes sense. Now this is where it gets a little bit more tricky because you have to actually think about it. What does the 2 represent? If it's 2 times C, what is the 2 representing? What does that mean? How much he is selling them for. So it is $2 per cup of lemonade. So he's selling them for $2. So his little stand would say lemonade, $2. Now, this is the amount of money he's making. So he's making $2 per cup, but then it subtracts $6.25. There's like a few different right answers that you could come up with here, but what do you think the $6.25 could be if he subtracts that out of what he makes? Yeah, like his ingredients, his resources, like paying his employees, I don't know, whatever. That's like the cost of his resources. So those are his costs. I like that you said ingredients, so I'm going to put that. Yeah, so like the ingredients for the lemonade, the lemons and the sugar and the water and all that, the cups. So those are like his costs. So you subtract that up. Have you guys ever done, like, I don't know, did you take an econ class before, like profit? Like you take your revenue and then you have to subtract out your cost, get your profit. I'm seeing it's okay. How could you figure out how much he earns if he sells 30 cups? Well, what would you do with 30? Times it by 2 and then, yeah. So I'm going to write plug in 30. You would take 30 and plug it in for C. You're going to let C equal 30 and then evaluate it. So how much money does he earn for 30 cups? Please watch. I like the computers put away while I'm teaching, but you're going to do this in a minute when we play a game to practice it. So what you're going to type in here in the calculator is the equation 2C. Whoops, if I was in there, that would work. 2C minus 6.25. Do you see how I did that? I just typed it in. And then in the next box down, you're going to let C equal 30, was 30, right? And then this is your answer. We'll literally just tell you the answer. Slap a dollar sign in front of it for cash money. He would make $53.75. Oh, did you guess that? Or did you do it in your head? Oh, cool. Okay, so please listen to me. For these, we're just going to type them in, and that's what we're going to practice in a minute. If you use the scientific calculator, the X and the Y will work. But I don't want you to use the scientific calculator, and I've brought this up before. Why do I want you using this one? This is what it's going to look like on the SOL. So listen, we're going to get to that in just a minute. I'm going to just do these 4 and then we'll practice. You just have to pick a different letter of the alphabet. I always pick A and B. So when you see X and Y in here, just do A and B instead. Just watch. Just want you to watch. So it says 3 to the X power. I'm just going to type 3 to the A power. Do you see that? If you hit Shift 6, it'll give you the exponent. So 3 to the A power minus 5B squared. Do you see how I typed it, but I just did A and B instead? Now I'm going to come down here and that A equal what? What do we want A to be? It says it on the paper. You just got to read it. 3. Good. And then I'm going to write B equals, oh my gosh, what's the answer? Negative 53. These are no work questions, and I want 100% of you to get 100% of them right. All right, here we go with the next one. I just want you to watch. Now it says 4x squared. What am I going to type?
4x squared.
4a squared. It won't work for x and y. So 4a squared minus, now it says 3xy cubed. I'm gonna have to type 3ab cubed. Good. And then it says minus square root of p. That will work. It just won't do x and y. It can be any letter you want. All right, then I'm gonna come down here. A equals what? Careful, because it's not in this order on the paper. Good. The x is -2. B equals, oh, is it -3? 3. And then P equals 81. Boom. 169 is your answer. Two more. I just want you to watch. Don't stop watching, because when I hand the reins over to you and you go to practice this, you're going to need to know how to type it. All right, so what am I going to type for that one? 5. I can't do 5 to the x power. It's going to be 5 to the a power. Good. Minus, oh, how did I say to get a cube root? What's the shortcut? Yep, CBRT, or you can go through functions. Cube root of b. Good. Now I want to divide by that whole thing, so I'm going to highlight it. Divided by, oh my gosh. What undo? Oh, good. Here we go. I want to do divided by, there we go, 3z. So now I'm going to come down here. A equals 2. Good. B equals 343. And Z equals 3. Scroll back up. Answer is, how do you like that? 2. Your answer is 2. It's just 2. That's an equal sign. All right. Last one. Don't stop watching. I'm going to ask you to do it in just a second. All right, so what am I going to type for this one? 6 divided by, oh, absolute value. That's right here. It's in your keyboard. Absolute value of, what am I going to type? Good. A minus 12, come down here. A equals 4.75. Oh, watch this. Let me show you this in the calculator too. Let's say you wanted a fraction instead of a decimal. Do you see this over here? This button that looks like a fraction? If you hit that, it'll turn into a fraction. I like fractions better than decimals, but I mean, obviously I would accept either one. 3/4.